Hey everyone, welcome all, welcome back to my channel. If you're not new, I am Merciful Moon, the Mystic, and today I have a new topic to share to you all for today. I know you read the title of the video about how to, before you decide to do any deity work or work with deities or entities, you might want to watch this video. I have a little script that I typed out before making this video. So if if my eyes are looking and my head is swiveling around, it's because I'm reading the script so I can have my thoughts gathered and be coherent instead of just doing the whole free form, freestyle videos that I'm used to. So let's get started. Before you decide to work with deities or entities or do any sort of spirit work, tune in and listen. So, I've been in the spiritual and occult spaces for a while, and the topic of deity work and communicating with the spirits is a topic that comes up a lot when it comes to beginner witches. And in general, just, people going through a spiritual awakening and trying to find themselves in attempts to deepen their knowledge of themselves and the world around them. But I've also seen this almost lackadaisical, nonchalant attitude to the topic of deity work and working with spirits as a whole. Some people are saying that it isn't that hard, just pick one, go with your gut intuition and follow what calls to you. And that may be all well and good to try and soothe the anxiety of the baby witches in attempts to help them by encouraging them to just, get started, jump in, just do it, like the Nike slogan. But by telling them to just jump in the water just because you feel it isn't that deep won't help them if they can barely swim to begin with, even with a life jacket on, even if they have a life jacket on. So I'm here to say that deity work isn't that simple and cut and dry as just picking one, just picking a random entity, pointing at them and just, go, especially if you're a newbie to the practice and to the concepts as a whole. I hate to be that person, but I'm coming into this topic as a left-hand path witch, or if that's too much of a mouthful, you can just say dark witch. I'm a lady that works with demons and darker energy, and that's something that I've been, drawn to for as long as I can remember as a child. So my perspective is very different from the love and light witches that like to repackage Christian beliefs with New Age spirituality. And I'm here to say that working with a deity, working with an entity, isn't something to take lightly and dive right in without any clear direction, without any clear guidance. Especially if you don't know how to properly communicate and interpret messages from the spirits, either through synchronicities, divinations, like having a trusted psychic in your corner to help, or you just lack the ability to hear and see spirits in real time as a grounded person. You don't have the ability to even, actually see and hear spirits. That's another drawback that that will keep you from properly interpreting the messages from spirits, or getting the full picture. So it's good to have someone either having the ability to see and hear spirits, or having a trusted psychic that can, to be able to help you in your corner when it comes to identifying a deity to help you on your spiritual journey. Because just as they are helpful entities, there are also harmful entities as well. The astrals and spiritual realm isn't all love and light, as the New Agers would have you all believe. And having at least one entity that is trustworthy, helpful, and meshes well with you is crucial to navigating the minefield that is the spiritual realm, since it's so easy to be swept away and led astray by egregores, imposter spirits, trickster type spirits who can and will pose as someone else to gain access to you. Not everything is for everyone, and that means certain entities too. Spiritual warfare exists, imposters exist, bloodlines and spiritual lines also play a part in working with, certain deities and energies, because some may call out to you because you have a past life working with them, which explains why some people will claim to feel called to a certain time period or pantheon or energy. And then there are others that may not be so keen to work with you because you are a complete stranger to them in every sense of the word. And that's why it's said that you need to give, offerings and do rituals to establish a rapport with a new entity that you want to work with, that you have no, past working relationship with. And in other cases, some entities will flat out not be responsive or like someone at all, and there's nothing you can do about it, especially if the entity in question can sense the individual isn't ready or not serious enough about their spiritual progress. Spirits are people too, with their own likes and dislikes. They do not like having their time wasted. That's a big one. Some of them can sense that and preemptively say no to someone, because these entities, they have a better intuition and better guidance system than most humans, and sometimes they know you better than you know yourself. So to tell baby witches to just jump into deity work by having them pick a deity they think is cool and to run with it doesn't fully prepare them for the depths that is spirit work, deity work. Because on the other hand of this topic, that is also not brought up in the spiritual and occult spaces, is that if you pick a certain energy and entity to work with, and you want to work with another opposing energy, you will encounter problems. Some entities do not mess well with others. Again, spirits are people too. And I'm going to be saying this a lot throughout the video. A perfect example of this phenomena of a spirit, certain entities having opposing energies and not being able to work well with each other, a perfect scenario can be found a lot in the demonology and demonultry spaces, where you find certain occultists claiming to work with not only demons and deities, but also angels and their allies, aliens, as well as these so-called witches and occultists that work with demons, claiming to also use Solomonic magic and Enochian in their rituals to summon and work with demons. For those of you who are not dark witches, let me spell out how problematic that is in itself. Once upon a time, there was a man named King Solomon who was able to get his grubby hands on Enochian magic to enslave and harm demons. Enochian is the language of the celestial rats with wings known to mortals as angels. And it is not the one that the infernals, the demons, use to communicate with each other. Their language is entirely different, and it is not Enochian. So to claim to use elements of what's essentially angel magic to work with demons is a big fat no-no. Go to timeout, sit in the corner. Anyone that claims to work with both angels and demons is a big fat liar, an op, and probably working with egregores posing as demons, because the demons have not and will never like the angels or the demiurge that calls himself the Christian God, ever. And they damn sure don't like the people that work with them either. It's an eternal beef. It's like a gang war one side or the other, no in-betweens, no hybrid theory over here. So yeah, this topic has been reminding me of the phenomena of like these former self-proclaimed witches and New Age spiritualists denouncing witchcraft and going back to Christianity, or hearing accounts of people trying to dip their toe into witchcraft and even working with demons and regretting it terribly because it was probably never their intended spiritual path from the jump. They strayed off their original path, which was, the love and light, Christianity or whatever. They strayed off their original path and they had a very bad time as a result. So those are the things I wanted to bring to the attention to the occult community when it comes to talking about working with entities, working with deities, especially from my perspective as a left-hand path witch, someone who works with demons. There are certain entities that I'm allowed to work with, and I'm not allowed that I'm allowed to work with and not allowed to work with. Like, I'm a left-hand path witch. I work with demons. I stick with demons. I don't venture off into trying to communicate or work with angels or aliens, because those entities are a direct opposition to the entities that I'm working with. So I'm aligned with the demons. I can't work with angels or aliens. So if you're also an occultist who claims to work with demons or wants to work with demons, you have to keep that in mind. You stick with demons. None of this Enochian crap, none of this Solomon magic crap, no trying to fucking contact the Palladians or whatever, or the Greys or the Whites, because those entities are in direct opposition to demons. So it's just something that needs to be said. It needs to be touched upon, because I feel like in this space that, it's very, there's a lot of misinformation and a lot of, people just going out, doing their own thing without any real care for what they're doing. They're told, oh, hey, go work with a deity, oh, go work with this deity, without actually doing any research into if that particular entity or deity is actually right for them, or is actually who they say they are. Because again, as I said, tricksters and imposters exist and will try to get access to your energy through, posing as someone else. There's like a lot of pitfalls and a lot of unspoken dangers that's not really touched upon when it comes to this topic, when it comes to, working with deities and entities. It's very treated as this big free-for-all, and that, everyone, it's like a big open door policy. Everything and everyone is welcome, blah, blah, blah. Come right in, come right in. When that's not the case. It's not all cut and dry. There are some energies, entities that don't mesh well with others and don't want to be associated with anyone that tries to mess with some opposing energy, because, certain energies have harmed, certain entities have harmed others, and they don't want to be associated with that. As, I said about the whole Solomon and Enochian magic, demons don't want to be associated with anyone that works with that type of stuff. And I think this also segues to another part of my video about, well, one of the other videos that I did talking about how certain demons or rather certain entities that people think are demons or demonic goddesses are not that and are not accepted into the ranks of hell. So if you want to know about the videos I'm talking about, it's the ones I did on Lilith and the one I did on Inanna. Those particular two entities that are propped up as demonic goddesses within the demonology spaces. So that's another thing, because there are entities that pretend to be something they're not, like gods and goddesses, to get more, people spreading misinformation on their behalf to get more followers, when they are not who they say they are. They're actually what, us black people call ops. They're ops. They're the opposition. They're enemies. So, yeah, that is the video I talked about when it comes to picking, or rather, before you decide to work with, deities and entities and dip your feet into that section of your spiritual awakening, decide to make that plunge in going deeper within the spiritual realm. It's very good to have that in mind, to be very mindful of there are some, things you got to watch out for when it comes to, working with deities and working with entities. You got to make sure that this is the entity that you're supposed to be working with. Either find out if you have a past life with them, find out if they've actually been sending you synchronicities or messages, find out if they are who they say they are and not some egregore or some imposter. If you're like a baby witch, baby psychic, and this is like kind of like a little bit above your skill, find a more practiced, more experienced psychic and reader to help you out. Someone that you trust, someone that you have history with, like a friend, a mentor. So yeah, that's my video on this topic, and I hope you guys enjoyed. See you all later. Bye.